let's get into this second segment. Basically, I think something that's really big with the Ravens fans is looking at obviously the wide receiver position. I mean, that is the position to be looking at, whether it was free agency, talking about, from Kenny Golladay to Allen Robinson to Juju to Ty to Sammy Watkins. The totem pole kept getting a little bit shorter. But that's all we wanted to talk about. Yeah, sure, there was the edge rusher position. But come on, we all wanted to talk about wide receivers. But in a lot of these mock drafts, a lot of Ravens fans are going edge rusher in the first round because whether they like Jalen Phillips or Gregory Rousseau or Kwity Paye or Azeez Ojulari or Jason Owe, that's a lot of guys. But they're like, okay, we want to go edge rusher in the first round. So day 2, we need some wide receivers because that's still a need on the roster. We also need possibly a center, possibly an offensive tackle, but wide receivers just, it's more fun. I'm going to say this right now. We will not be talking about day 2 centers for the Ravens to target in any video. Yeah, we need them, but come on, that's not something that's very fun to talk about. So day 2 wide receivers, is there a guy, Joshua, that stands out to you as somebody that the Ravens should go after kind of day 2, second round, third round?
I mean, before we started recording, I was talking about this one guy from Michigan, but I had to go down to the SEC. If y'all don't know him, y'all better learn about him. Seth Williams, 6'3", pro 230. It's a big body guy. Actually, let me go ahead and put the stats real quick. Let me give you some. Let me drop it on you. 85.
Yeah, he's out of Auburn. Played with Anthony Schwartz and Bo Nix. Yep.
So 6'3", 211 pounds, 85 receptions, 1,364 yards, and 13 touchdowns. Now, I know you guys are wishing we trade up and maybe get Kyle Pitts. Well, Seth Williams may be the next best thing to Kyle Pitts. The reason I say that is because he's a wide receiver. Not only he's a wide receiver, he can outrun you on the 9 route. He has good handwork, good hand coordination when it comes to beating the corners when they try to jam him up. Also, he is a contortionist. He knows how to jump and get the ball. He can catch the ball in traffic as well. He doesn't have the best speed, but guess who didn't have the best speed that played for us? Anquan Bolden. And when Anquan Bolden caught the ball with his hands, he had great yards after catch yardage. And Seth Williams is the same way. So
yeah. And to bring up, Anquan Bolden, what was Anquan Bolden? He was a physical beast. That's exactly what you're getting when you go with Seth Williams. I believe he was a safety as well. He has some safety background, so he knows how to be physical. Not 100% positive on the run blocking. I would have to do more info, but typically when a guy is a physical player, they typically are better at run blocking, but I don't want to make that assumption looking at it. But he could definitely be somebody that slides because a lot of people look at the speed when they're going for it. But come on, he still ran a 4.4. It was a very high 4.4, but that's still okay. And at his size, you're not asking him to, burn everybody. You're asking him to be a big body guy that can catch the ball. So I am a big fan of Seth Williams. I would definitely be willing to bring him on board. A guy that I really liked was actually somebody that I wasn't too big on. I had heard the name. I was just so caught up in drafting a wide receiver round 1. I haven't been looking at the day 2 guys. I've really just been looking at day 1, day 3 guys. But a guy that I really started to fall in love with was Dyami Brown, wide receiver out of North Carolina. Yeah. The dude is he's just a beast. He had 20 receiving touchdowns, and he had over 1,000 yards in each season, at North Carolina. He's got very, very good speed. He's just a physical specimen that, the Ravens could absolutely utilize. He's 6'1", but he would just be somebody that could go deep, and he can do it from the slot and he can do it from out wide. So that's just something that is a benefit. You can line him up kind of anywhere on your offense, and he's always a threat no matter where he is. So, I'm a big fan of him. He doesn't have crazy route running or anything like that. we're not going to, when we're looking at day 2, day 3 wide receivers, it's never going to be the whole package. It's like specific traits that we're looking for. You look at round 1 and it's like, oh yeah, Jamar Chase, what does he bring you? Great route running, great speed, great hands, great athleticism, boom. Whereas you look in round 2, it's like, oh yeah, do you want a guy with, we look at Seth Williams. It's like, oh yeah, this he's got physicality, he's got good size, he's got good hands, not great speed. You have to take, what you can get. And what the Ravens need is they need playmakers. They need guys that can go deep. And Dyami Brown is a guy that can do that. And he also does give a lot of effort when he's blocking, which is very beneficial because the Ravens love to block. And he is coming from the second biggest conference. I don't know. No, third. I'm sorry. I'm not putting the ACC over the Big Ten. I forgot about the Big Ten. The SEC, then it's the Big Ten. And then it's probably the ACC. If you're looking at that type of thing, in terms of defenders, I don't know. Big 12, ACC, not the Pac-12. I'm a Stanford fan. Pac-12, sorry. We suck. It's very unfortunate. But Joshua, is there any other guys, potentially like a Nico Collins type of guy?
Well, okay. I'll give Nico his respect because at the end of the day, he is a 6'4" specimen, 215 pounds, coming out of Birmingham, Alabama. Far as career stats, 778 receptions.
700 receptions.
1,388 yards, another 13 touchdowns. A big solid guy. He can jump and get the ball. Doesn't have the best of speed as well, but he still has good hands. I feel like because he was coached by Jim, they got that hardball relationship. Jim probably said, "Hey, John, Nico, just give him a shot, man. Just throw the ball. He'll just tell Lamar to throw the ball to him. He'll go get it." But he definitely, I definitely feel like he can bring some good production to the team. But actually, someone that everybody may not know. I'm gonna throw the wild card in. Amir Smith, Marset.
Gotta remember the name.
Can't remember the name. Amir Smith Marset. Now, this young man, he's coming out of New Jersey. He decommitted he originally committed to Rutgers, decommitted, then committed to Minnesota, decommitted, and then went to Iowa, excuse me. He's a physical guy, 6'1". He has great speed. In high school, he was recruited as a 3-star corner. So remember that.
The rare swap from corner to wide receiver. You see wide receiver to corner a fair amount, but very few go corner to wide receiver.
So, he's giving me Deion Branch vibes.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
But also, one thing that really stood out to me about the young man is his return skills. He actually set a record in doing one of the bowl games for returning yards of 150 yards. Guys, yes, we did use Devin Duvernay and we did use a little bit of James Prochet. Shout out to James Prochet just for the fact of giving special teams a try, knowing that you never played special teams. But if you bring in someone like this young man that is very dynamic, has good hands, he can get away from corners and things of that nature, and also have a boost to a punt return and kick return team, because that's something we missed for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, yes, now we do have a high power offense, but if Greg Roman doesn't create a passing game, we need points in another way, and we cannot always depend on defense getting a pick six or scoop and score. So I feel like that's someone else that can actually be a good addition to the punt return or kick return game.
Yeah, I think he's a solid guy to bring up. I'll bring up one final guy. I'm going to go with Anthony Schwartz. teammate of Seth Williams. So, I think either of those guys could be very good, in Baltimore. Now, Seth Williams, we brought him up, kind of slow, big, physical guy. Anthony Schwartz is a burner. He ran a 4.2 40. He's got unbelievable speed, and that's something that the Ravens can always use. Now, he is not the smallest guy, out there, because, I made the video talking about, don't draft Rondale Moore because, he's 5'9", a $180, but Anthony Schwartz actually has good size along with that crazy speed, it's actually very, very beneficial to have, because I'm not trying to have a guy that gets injured all the time or, is too small to try and block. Whereas, Anthony Schwartz is 6 feet tall. You got a 6 foot tall burner. That he's really like a track guy that is actually somewhat physical. He's got good hands. And that's something that the Ravens can always use. Physical guys with great hands and speed. I mean, that's just perfect. And it's almost a match made in heaven, just because, you get him the ball, and he wouldn't have to be somebody where, hopefully Greg Roman doesn't do this again, where it's like, we'll only give it to him on a jet sweep. Cough, cough, Devin Duvernay. But, if the Ravens were able to utilize him, he would be very, very good in Baltimore. And I think he could be a guy, to use up. He actually ran in high school a 10.15 in the 100-meter dash. So crazy speed. And that's something that's, pretty interesting. And I'll add one other thing that I just saw out of the corner of my eye. He helped guide the USA to a gold medal in the 4x100 meter relay at the 2018 Under-20 World Championships. So, burner, absolute burner, but he's actually got decent hands. So he's not a Marquise Goodwin, because Marquise Goodwin was an Olympic silver medalist or bronze medalist in the hurdles, but the dude has bricks for hands, and that's why he gets traded and cut by every team that he goes to. But crazy speed, but at the same time, good size. I like Anthony Schwartz, and I like Seth Williams. So both of those guys I'm down with. Not huge on Nico Collins, just because I feel like every time Harbaugh, whispers to Harbaugh, and he's like, hey man, you should check this guy out. When has that ever worked out for us? Like, have we ever actually drafted somebody out of Michigan that's actually succeeded? We drafted Chris Wormley. We drafted Ben Bredeson. I still can't pronounce that name, out of Michigan. Like, I mean, if we were getting good intel, like maybe if he knew Nick Saban, and Nick Saban's like, hey man, you should draft this guy, I would trust it. But Jim Harbaugh, not trusting the Jim Harbaugh insight yet, considering his team has struggled every year. But, overall, I just think that, most of these day two guys are good. It really just depends on if the Ravens go wide receiver or edge rusher in the first round, because I don't think we'll go wide receiver in day one and day two. So if we go edge rusher first round, wide receivers, we will draft a wide receiver in the second or third round, most likely along with an offensive lineman. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is there any other guys that you want to bring up, or should we move into the final segment?
Man, I think I'm pretty good. I mean, I would probably say Josh Palmer, but Josh Palmer is going to be.
I like Palmer, yeah.
He might be a later round guy.
Yeah, he could be a fourth rounder. So I think he's a great guy to bring up, though. He's got that T. Martin connection on point out of Tennessee. So thank you, everybody, for watching this segment. Go check out the Truzz the Bank podcast if you want to see it. The next segment, because it's going to be a good one. It's an Is This Stupid segment. But thank you all for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content.